What's going on, YouTube? It's Matt Fairclough. Thank you for watching this Mentorship Monday program. My name is Matt, and my company is called the DeRosa Group, and this is Mentorship Monday, and this is a very special one because we are here at the Best Ever Conference. Not really in Denver. We're kind of in Keystone. We're kind of out in the mountains and the woods. I wish I could turn these cameras and show you all this beautiful vistage we're looking at here, but we're at a conference for the Joe Fairless for the Best Ever Conference. I'm so excited to be here. I'm speaking here tomorrow, and Joe has this really cool podcast and YouTube video studio lined up. So I bumped into a few new friends, and I said, hey, can you guys come up with a cool real estate question that we can discuss on the Mentorship Monday program? So they very gladly said yes. Here's a few things for you guys. If you guys want us to answer your Mentorship Monday questions on this YouTube channel, just email them to helpme@derosagroup.com. That is helpme@derosagroup.com, and I will answer your question right on this YouTube channel for you and everyone else to learn from, and I appreciate all your questions. So now, my new friends here, I've got Joshua and Thomas from Humboldt Partners, right? They have a question for me, and they're going to tell a little bit about their company in a second here, but they've got a real estate question that we can discuss here for the channel. And what's awesome is I don't know what their question is. This is why this is a really interesting Mentorship Monday. I hope this isn't like a stump the chump kind of thing, but let's see what we can do. So, Joshua and Thomas, let's talk about your question, and then you can tell the audience all about your company too, which I think they'd love to hear about.
Okay, great. So we're at the Joe Fairless Conference.
Yes,
we're
we are.
Multifamily investors.
Yes, we are.
And we are under LOI on a project near Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right.
We've got an agreement that the contract will be signed on Monday when we send it to the seller.
Okay.
It is a LIHTC property, a low-income housing tax credit property.
Right. Okay.
Mid to late 90s build.
Okay.
We're going to start due diligence next week. What are the 3 to 5 things that we need to pay attention to in due diligence related to the tax credit status of the property?
Okay, pass. Next question. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got it.
Where were you last night?
Yeah, right. Tell us about your whereabouts. No, okay, so for our audience, there's something called low-income housing tax credits, okay? I know a good bit about them. I've not done a deal with them yet, but I will gladly offer my insight on low-income housing tax credits. For you guys watching, the way that low-income housing tax credits work is the government issues these credits, and it's called LIHTC, and it is a income tax forgiveness for a certain amount of money that has to do with the amount of units that you have, and it has to do with what round that you applied for. You can get a 4% tax credit, or you can get a 9% tax credit. The 9% are competitive, and they're very lucrative, but you have to bid on them, and they have to select which developer they're going to give it to, and all that. The 4% are as of right. You can just get them. So LIHTC is a great program, but the thing with it is that you have to deal with the low income, right? The LI part, right? So it is a low income housing tax credit. So there is a certain component you have to deal with and be prepared to have yourself set up for, right? When you're doing LIHTC deals for all you guys watching too. And LIHTC typically doesn't get involved unless your deal's over a certain unit size. How many units are we talking about here?
It's a 58-unit property, $1.8 million purchase.
Great. Okay. So just a few questions. You guys are inheriting those tax credits, first, is the property in the second round, or it's still in the first round of its tax credits? And I'll explain to you guys, viewers, what that means in a second, but y'all should know the answer to that question.
I think it's still in the first round.
It's still in the first round.
The person who did the development is the person who got the credits.
That's right.
And then we're the next buyers.
So the way tax credits work, that I understand anyway, is it's a 15-year tax credit, and that's after the 15 years, then it opens up to another 15 years. That's the second round. Second round is a little more open. You can charge a little more rents and things like that. So I understand, right? Here, let's get to your question. Due diligence you guys need to do.
Yeah.
Number one, you need to have a property manager lined up that knows how to handle low-income housing, right? And it's not just from a tenant perspective. I'm not judging low-income housing. It's a necessary thing in our society. We need to have low-income housing. What I'm saying is to keep you quiet, to keep you, kosher and compliant with the LIHTC regulations, you guys need to have a property manager that's vetting tax returns and that is proving that the folks' income that are qualified, that are living in your units, qualify for the program, right? Because you can get fined and lose status and things like that if you get audited, by HUD. I believe it's by HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, that issues those credits, right? So that's number one. due diligence, it's a 58 unit, so it's kind of a funny size. It's kind of hard to have on.
It's actually 2 complexes built, and actually one of them is in the first round and one's in the second round. So it's a little bit of a mix of
more hair on it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's even more. Okay.
In case you answered the first question, we were gonna.
I got it. So you wanted to know what other due diligence you should be doing. Okay. I would go, and you got to get a copy of the low-income housing covenants
Yeah.
if you haven't read them.
We haven't.
Okay. So that's big due diligence. Is these deals come with a ton of paperwork, right? It's like stacks like that. So read through it. Get yourself an attorney that knows these kinds of deals. So you're shaking your heads. You guys already have that done, right? Okay, cool. It says you guys are on the right track.
We're halfway there. We have the paperwork. We've actually read through it because we didn't understand it before.
Yeah.
But then now we do think we have to have a lawyer or an attorney go through it and
Absolutely.
give us any feedback.
Absolutely. Okay. What else? What do you think what do you think you're missing? What do you think your blind spots are on the deal? Because it says you guys are on the right track. I don't know if you thought about the property management thing. If that's a value add that I can give you there.
So the compliance piece
Yes.
of operating the property is
Yes.
really the big deal. The real value add opportunity that we see in this property is that it's running at 70% expense ratio.
Yep.
Whereas properties of this size and this scale in our market should be running at a closer to 50%.
Why is it?
expense ratio.
Why? What are pushing the expenses up?
Right. So we've got the rent roll, we've got the T12, we've done all the analysis. There's something going on because not only are there income qualified tenants in the property, but there's also Section 8 HAP tenants in the property.
Mm-hmm.
Something is going on with the utilities. The utility expense is out of whack, and we don't fully understand that yet.
I can tell you. Okay, so here's my opinion. Okay. First of all, low-income housing tax credit deals, typically the developer makes a large chunk, a developer's fee when they build out these properties. The LIHTC deal that we looked at in Trenton, the developer we were looking to work with got like an enormous fee, or was going to get an enormous fee when they built the property. And then the property was designed to cash flow at a break even, right? It was designed to do so. There was a heavy payroll. That's the first thing you got to look at is payroll, because for 58 units, they might have several full-time salary staffs on 58 units, right? Not necessary. That's number one. And LIHTC doesn't require that you overexpense your properties like that, but they're just not designed for cash flow. Well, if you're doing a LIHTC property as a developer, your money's made in the fees, not in the cash flow during ownership, right? Because the tax credit, they have to sell those tax credits. They sell the tax credits, and the owners of those tax credits are who would be beholden to the cash flow, but they don't really want the cash flow. They just want the tax credits. Getting down the rabbit hole there, right? So, secondly, if you are on affordable housing, there is a cap on how much global living expenses the tenant can pay. Utilities are included in that, right? So there is a chance that your property is either all utilities included by design and maybe needs to be that way, or that just especially your Section 8 tenants are just approved for a voucher that's like, let's just say for conversation it's $1,000. They're paying you $800. But they can't. The other $200 for utilities just has to come out of you too. So you guys your property might be designed for owner-paid utilities. Is it a single boiler, single central air, or are there individual units in each
No,
apartment?
everything's individual units, and in North Carolina we have individual HVACs.
Okay. You got to check the Section 8 contracts. Check the lease. The biggest thing you got to do is network with the local office. Like call the local Section 8 office, see what their rules are around those kinds of things. So to wrap it up, guys, these LIHTC deals and stuff like that, they're not common, so it's kind of hard to go out and seek them. There's developers where all they do is do LIHTC stuff. And if you come across a LIHTC property, it's just a lot more due diligence you got to do. They can be very lucrative. And typically, you're looking at something that was designed by developer to build it and get a fee. They weren't designing it for cash flow, so you're going to have to restructure the property, redesign it to make it cash flow. That's for you guys too. So, real quick before we go, tell us real quickly all about Humboldt Partners and how people can get a hold of you and what you guys are up to, including making cool stuff happen in North Carolina.
So Humboldt Partners is actually Josh Stack and myself, Thomas Conditi. We have a team that basically looks at multifamily in the greater Charlotte area. And
Okay.
we look at units anywhere from, we started off with a 10 unit that we did a full renovation on. We bought a 14, a 52. We're up to about 80 units, and we're heading for 400.
Do you guys self-manage or do you hand it out?
No, all of them are third-party property management. We
Smart
provide we manage them, if you will,
Yep.
on a weekly basis.
You got to manage the manager.
And then we're constantly looking for new properties in the area. We have a team that underwrites that as well.
Cool.
And HumboldtPartners.net.
So if people want to hear more about you guys or want to potentially hear about North Carolina or just reach out to you guys, it's Humboldt, HUMBOLDT, HumboldtPartners.net. Okay, send these guys an email. Josh and Thomas, any final thoughts?
Well, viewers can also sign up for our newsletter, plus minus once a month. It's going to come out, and you can hear where we're up
Do that.
to in the west of Charlotte area and the good deals and the good investing that we're doing.
That's awesome. Good. Thank you guys for letting me blindside you for Mentorship Monday. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for watching. Keep a track on Humboldt Partners, guys. You guys are going some places, so make sure you reach out to hear what they're up to. Thanks for watching, audience, and have a great, profitable week.